let's talk about 6 things that you can remember when you have to encounter or deal with unpleasant people. Dealing with unpleasant people can be unpleasant, and we all have to do it. But we can make it less unpleasant. And so I'm going to save the best one for last, but let's go ahead and get into these 6 things to remember. So the first one is, be glad you only have to deal with them for a moment. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 minutes, who knows, doesn't matter. They have to be around themselves all the time. And now, maybe it makes me a little bit petty, and I'm okay with that, but yeah, they have to be around themselves all the time, and I only have to deal with them for a moment. And so I can just think how miserable that must be for you, and allow them to go on their way. And number 2, rarely are they really attacking you. They're probably really sad with their own lives, and they want to bring other people down to where they are instead of doing the work to raise themselves up. They want to make you into a straw man that they can beat up. So that this weak version of themselves that hasn't worked on improving themselves has something that it can attack, that it can beat up, which is that straw man of you. So don't let it get to you. They're not really attacking you. They're attacking something they made up in their head. Let them do it. Number 3, chances are you're in more of a growth phase than they are. When people are in a more stagnant phase, and sometimes that phase lasts the whole lifetime, sometimes it lasts 2 days, who knows? The fingers tend to get pointed externally. So the problem is there, the problem is there, the problem is there, rather than the problem is there, or the problem is there. So you can use this as an opportunity to practice feeling sad for someone else. Practice feeling that compassion for another person as to how sad it must be to be in that stagnant phase, because we've all been there. We all know how much it sucks. And go ahead and take a little pride out of the deal. Why not? Get a little something out of it for yourself and talk about, well, I'm growing, so I don't need to, I can be above you for right now. It's all right to have pride once in a while. Go for it. Number 4, if they trigger you to be angry or defensive, or you're offended by what they say, another opportunity. It shows you what you can work on as a person, how you can become a better person. Something you may not have thought of, may not have considered, has now been presented to you as something that you need to work on in your life. So, did they make you angry? Well, why did they make you angry? Is it something that you're hiding about yourself that they're presenting to you, and you're like, ooh, that kind of hits close to home? Well, there you go, something to work on. Believe me, it's happened to me plenty of times in life. And I haven't always been grateful for it, but you can if you remember to be grateful for it. So number 5 is they remind you to be happy for your own happiness and your honorable behavior. So you can be happy that you're in such a good place that you don't have to act like that, that you can walk through the grocery store and smile at people instead of scowling at everyone, instead of trying to make someone else's day worse. You're behaving honorably. You're enjoying your happiness. And thank this horrible person, this unpleasant person, for reminding you, for showing you that contrast and where you could be, so that you can be grateful that you are not there and that you're in a better place. Sometimes it's just going back to what I said before, this pride. Sometimes it's just okay to admit that you're doing better than them. It's all right. Be proud of that. Be proud of your hard work. Why not? And number 6, So I did save the best for last because I love this phrase, and it's, don't accept criticism from someone you would not go to for advice. So if someone's being unpleasant and they're treating you poorly, maybe they call you a name, maybe they say something bad about you, is that somebody that you would go to for advice? If not, who cares what they said? Like, we'll take my dad as an example. He's someone that I go to for advice pretty often. And if he were to say something negative, I would really have to take that to heart, because he's someone who I trust what comes out of his mouth. I trust that he has my best interest in mind. And so if he were to say something negative, which he usually frames very nicely, he's a nice guy. But anybody else, some random person on the street or on the internet, says something negative about me, I may pause for a moment and reflect. Am I like that? Nope, not like that. Because they're not someone that I would go to for advice. So why do I care what they have to say as far as this criticism? Well, I'll take it if they want to say something nice, but even still, it doesn't mean as much. Like, again, with the example with my dad, if he says something nice about something that I'm doing, it means a lot more than if some random person says something nice. And you can apply that to really anyone that you do or don't care about what they have to say. So hopefully, as you go through life, and I know it's hard in the moment, we all have a hard time with it, but if you can remember at least one of these things when you're dealing with an unpleasant person, if you can remember one thing to say, I'm glad I'm not them, basically, then your encounter is going to be so much more pleasant. And in fact, you may even smile through it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to hit like and share it if you really liked it. Have a great day.